Hello and welcome to RPG. I am your host, Rabbit. In this video today, we will be going over domination-based battlegrounds for World of Warcraft. A lot of race for resources, payload, and power orbs, but basically, whichever team gets the highest amount of points first wins. So we have a lot of battlegrounds to cover in this one, so let's get started. Easy go. Let's start with the Raphe Basin. To unlock this battleground, your character must reach level 10, and the first team to reach 1500 resources wins. You're given 5 bases to fight over, and with 15 players per team. Capturing any base will begin collecting resources for your team, and the more bases your team controls, the faster you collect resources. To capture a base, simply click on the flag posted at the location to begin channeling to capture it. Any movement you make during this time or damage taken will interrupt you from capturing it, and you'll have to start all over again. So because of the large area of this map, with 5 capturable bases and only 15 players per team, I think team placement is crucial. In most cases, you'll be paired with formidable opponents and you'll be evenly matched. If this is the case, try to stick to defending just 3 bases, 5 players per base. Each of those can be floaters that can move as needed for added defense. But even with just 3 out of 5 bases, you gain a considerable lead, and you can easily win if you stick to defending just these 3. When I'm defending a base, I try to stick very close to the flag, so no one can sneak a cap while I'm too far away to stop them. And if I'm up against a large group of people, I start spamming my area of effect attacks to keep as many players from capturing it as I can, remembering that any damage they take will interrupt them from capturing it. So if you begin to notice that your team is able to hold these 3 bases with relative ease, then at that point it would be safe to go and push for a 4th base. And if your team is really on fire, push for that 5th. Next up is Battle for Gilneas, and this battleground can be unlocked when your character hits level 75. This one is very similar to a Raphe Basin, but in here you only have 3 bases to fight over for resources, and only 10 players per team. For team placement in here, if you're pretty evenly matched, I would stick to defending just 2 bases to be on the safe side. Although sometimes it's nice to have just one person scout the 3rd base to check and see if anyone's still guarding it. And if by chance it's not being guarded, grab it quick. A good scout would be either a rogue or feral druid, since they can move around undetected, and they could also hold their own just in case they've been spotted. But it's always safe for the team to stick together on 2 bases, 5 players per base, with those of course being floaters to move around as needed to defend. And in some cases only one base will be heavily attacked while the other is completely left alone. In this case, always leave at least one player to stay behind so that they can call out in the group chat any incoming enemy players if backup is needed. Never leave your base unattended, as boring as it may be to stay behind. This one is Eye of the Storm, and you must be level 35 to unlock this battleground. In this race for resources, you are given 4 bases to fight over and 15 players per team. To capture a base, you must be standing within a close vicinity of the base, and the meter will start to move in your team's favor. The more friendly players standing at the base with you will move the meter faster. If the number of enemy players outnumbers the amount of friendlies, then the meter will start to move in the opposing team's favor. Capturing bases isn't the only way to gather resources in this battleground. In the middle is placed a flag for either team to pick up and carry back to a base that is already controlled by their own team. Simply stand over the circle provided to plant that flag to gather an additional boost of resources. Next up we have Deep Wind Gorge, and you must be level 90 to unlock this battleground. Similar to Eye of the Storm, only now you're given 3 bases to fight over, with only 15 players per team. You can also capture mining carts from the enemy team's base and walk it all the way back to your team's starting base for an additional boost of resources. To return your team's captured cart, simply slaughter the enemy player in cold blood and click on the mining cart that will be directly over the body of your fresh kill. Silver Shard Mines unlocks at level 90, and you are given 3 potential targets to collect resources from with the 10-player team. The way to collect resources in this battleground is by capturing mining carts. To capture a cart, you must be standing within close proximity to the cart for a small period of time for the capture meter to move in your team's favor. Standing outside that vicinity makes it vulnerable, and an opposing team player can capture it if they are within capture distance of the cart. Being outnumbered by the opposing team could also lose you this objective. I've seen some interesting yet shady tactics in this battleground so far. Sometimes watching a cart can get boring if it looks like nobody's around, so oftentimes a player left alone defending a cart may believe they're in the clear towards the end of the tracks and quickly runs to rejoin the fight before the cart is actually delivered. But unbeknownst to him, there was a rogue or druid cowardly lurking in the shadows, waiting for just such an opportunity, and it only takes a few seconds to take back an abandoned cart. So just as a starter's tip, try to stay with the cart until the very end, as boring as it may be. This is a very close quarters fight with only 3 objectives, so it's crucial to stick close to your cart and teammates as the game could change very, very quickly. Mistakes are not forgiving in this battleground. The last one I'm going to cover is Temple of Cut Mogu. This is unlocked at level 90 with 10 players per team. Here you're given 4 flags, or orbs in this case, to grab. Your team collects resources only while a member of your team is carrying an orb. And the more orbs your team is carrying, the faster your team will collect resources. Also, if you bring orbs into the center area, the amount of resources you gather while carrying an orb is increased. So controlling the center is key in this battleground, but also it's very important to keep checking if there are any orbs that have been dropped. If you're killed while carrying an orb, it's automatically returned to where it came from, and it's best to pick these up as soon as they become available, so keep a close watch for them. Thank you for watching my little beginner's guide to dominating Domination Battlegrounds. Please tune into my next video where I will be putting together a compilation of weekly battleground fails, which will also include a number of my own personal pet peeves of PvP. Hit me with your thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see some more. I'll see you all next time.